Good evening. Thanks for being here. Most of you know that by now that on November the 27th, 2017, after only a brief and relatively mild symptoms, I was diagnosed with stage 4B metastatic pancreatic cancer. Mere weeks before my diagnosis, I was playing soccer with my over 50 team, and the only sign that anything was wrong was some bloating and mild fatigue. You all know that this stage of pancreatic cancer is an incurable condition, and though the palliative chemo I'm receiving may extend my survival by a few months and minimize some symptoms, I will be unable to work again. I wanted to talk to you today for two purposes. One, I want to see my ProHealth family again because leaving abruptly the way I did felt like unfinished business. The other unfinished business I would like to explain to you now. Somebody recently asked me what I'm most proud of in my life. Of course, I'm immensely proud of what we built at ProHealth, but it is my other family that brings me most pride of all. Together with my beautiful, wise, and empathetic wife, Dorothy, we have two amazing children and two grandchildren. Our son could have been described, and okay, I did describe him, as an underachiever during his school years, but ended up excelling in college and developed an interest and talent in computers and programming that's delighted me and has him working in IT recruitment in Portland, Oregon. He is one of the most kind, caring, and funny people I know, and has the knack for making personal connections, a talent that is so valuable in his personal and professional life. He has also inherited my great taste in women, and we were so delighted to welcome his wife Emily into our family in 2016. Our daughter Becca's story is very different. Smart as a whip, she kept 2 steps ahead of us most of her life, leaving us panting as we tried to keep up with her. After completing her BFA in jewellery at the School of the Museum of Fine Arts and a BA in Women's Studies and Comparative Religion at Tufts, she decided to pursue her passion for women's empowerment through a master's degree. She took a gap year to get some experience working overseas before applying to grad school, and during that year she spent most of her time working at an orphanage in Tanzania, run at the time for the previous 25 years by the wonderful Martha Ayo, known as Mama Pendo in her community. While there, Becca started a small non-profit called The Small Things, or TST, to support the orphanage. The name came from a quote by Mother Teresa: we can do no great things, only small things with great love. Becca went to London to do a 2-year Masters of Public Administration at the London School of Economics, buzzing back and forth to Africa and raising money for the small things. Through this organisation, which Dorothy and I also helped her found and still run through our home address, we were able to improve staffing, lighting, water provision, and build needed improvements to the Nkoaranga orphanage building. Interestingly, Becca's work echoed that of her grandmother, Hilda Goldberg, a Holocaust survivor who, at the age of 20, created and ran a daycare centre at Bergen-Belsen from the days immediately after its liberation for the next 2 years. Their common love of children was a bond between them that motivated and inspired Becca. After she finished her degree, Becca returned to Tanzania with her new husband Rizwan and settled there. She began the process of adopting her 2 children from the orphanage, Zawadi and Simon, found a donor to underwrite the cost of the Happy Family Children's Village, which allowed the children who aged out of the orphanage at age 5 to stay together and live in family-style groups, and built what may be TST's most successful program, Outreach, which has enabled many families to keep their children at home rather than surrendering them out of need to the orphanage or other institution. In these last 4 years, TST has gone from a simple support organisation for the orphanage to one of the largest employers in the Nkoaranga community, with more than 45 employees caring for 50 residential children full-time, as well as over 100 kids who are able to stay with their families. I asked everyone to come here and listen to this, not as a sob story or as a simple appeal on my behalf. This disease and my life has been teaching me that I, and probably everyone here today, have been the luckiest people in the world. We have more than average security, we have consistency in our lives, and we have had huge opportunities. What I am asking, in short, not for me, but for yourselves, is to pay it forward. Take some of what you have received and put it in a place where it can do so much to provide security, education, and a future for those who otherwise have none of these. There are many good causes, but TST is certainly one with the potential for local and system change that work and can be modelled all over Africa. The legacy fund that I am establishing with $100,000 seed money from our family will try to ensure that the month-to-month vagaries of fundraising will be less of a burden, so the work of changing lives goes on uninterrupted. Finally, I want you to know this is evidence-based. Making donations has been shown to enhance your quality of life and happiness. Thank you for the years of friendship and collegiality that we have shared, for the problems we've worked through and solved, for the great joy of working at ProHealth. I will never forget the love and support you have shown tonight and since my diagnosis. My family and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
The reason that TST really is different is that we focus on a case-by-case basis. What is the closest to a family that we can get for this child? My name is Becca Ross Russell. I'm the founder and the executive director of The Small Things. We do three things. We partner with Nkuranga Orphanage, which is a local orphanage that's existed in some form for many, many, many years. We also run the Children's Village, which is for children after they've aged out of the orphanage at age 5. And then our third branch is outreach, which really has two facets, is family preservation and reunification. Basically, if there's a will, we will help them find a way.
My name is Mama Upendo. I have been here for 26 years.
Mama Pendo is amazing. She's the head mama at the orphanage, and she's really the heart and soul of everything we do. There isn't a job of caretaker here. You're a mama. You know, if you care for kids, you are their mama. Mama Pendo has built the orphanage into a really warm and loving home. She's just an inspiration to all of us. One of the big problems with organizations in Tanzania is that orphan care is immediate. It's an immediate need. It can't wait till tomorrow. You know, you can't just say, I'll feed the kids tomorrow. But it means that that's where all the focus tends to be. And in a lot of cases, these kids can return home. They do have families that would be more than happy to take care of them with a little bit of help and support.
Walishafika nyumbani kwangu na nikatengeneza nyumba ndogo ya watoto. Hao maana wakitoka huku naenda nao nyumbani, wanakwenda kukaa nyumbani, lakini wakitoka nyumbani wanarudi shuleni. Vitu vinavyonifurahisha ni kwamba nawapenda watoto na wananipenda.
My name is Rehema Musa. I'm the outreach director. I do outreach family support. I do Swahili class for volunteer. I do business class for outreach women.
Mradi wa kuku umenisaidia sana, maana nimeweza kutoka kujenga kachumba changu na watoto wangu. Kweli najisikia raha sana, nimenenepa. Najisikia raha sana kwa ajili ya hii msaada, na nimepeleka watoto shule. Furahi sana.
We really focus and work with the families and work with the communities and listen to what they need, because most of the time if you ask them, what do you need to take your child back, they have an answer, and usually it's a pretty simple answer.
Our children, they have a future. Before it was blind for them. They are getting good education and a good environment. Now I'm happy.